Hey everybody, it's Miss Motivational Mogul Mindset, Ava Cherie. How are you today? Someone brought it to my attention that I missed a Food for Your Soul quote that I had recently posted. Once I was made aware of the oversight, I had to come back and do a Food for Your Soul vlog. You know that, right? Be careful when you say, I let you live. You're eating because of me, or you're eating off me. Or if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be X, Y, and Z. And all the other egotistical, I put you on reminders that people often dangle in your face, tap you on your shoulder, and like to remind you of. Instead of what we should be saying to one another is, I prepared a seat at the table for you. By constantly having to remind somebody of what you did or how you think you put them on or what essential factor you think you are in their life, doing that makes you a God in your own mind. Instead of telling them, I prepared a seat at the table for you. I made room for you. Eat off my plate. We all in here together. We're getting it together. We're all contributing together. We're all bringing something to the table together. One makes you think you are God, and the latter is more God-like. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean God-like? And you need to research the fruits of the Spirit, the attributes of Christ. Let's just clear this up really quickly. Whenever you get the unction to have to go and remind somebody what you did for them, how you think you are positioned in their life, what type of a power and authority you have in their life, and if you weren't in their life, they would be a non-factor, or they wouldn't be as successful, or they wouldn't have the attributes, or they wouldn't have the accolades, or their praise wouldn't be worthy because you are doing so much for them. Instead of telling yourself that it wouldn't be without you, you need to humble yourself. As soon as you get ready to do that, allow this to check you. You are not God, okay? You don't have as much power as you think you exude. I continually tell people about those false stages and altars and platforms that they make for themselves so they can be idolized and worshiped. Getting on social media, posting these fake idols and fake altars and stages and platforms and making it appear to be that it's something that they've done in their power, that they're mightier, that they are to be idled and worshiped because of the success or the false narratives of success that they present to people outwardly. But they're missing the key ingredients inwardly, which is being God-like. Because when you're a humble servant, when you're a humble person, you don't have time to post how much you're serving other people, feeding other people, sowing into other people, planting good seed into others people's lives and families' lives, nurturing other people. You don't have time to post every example of that because you don't have to. God-like means it's everywhere around you. Your aura exemplifies the light of your pouring out to other people, feeding other people, sowing. And I mean feeding, I'm not talking about physical food. I'm talking about spiritual nourishment. I'm talking about things that's longevity, that's long-standing, not temporal, not based on, not conditional. When you are unconditionally, selflessly in a position as a servant to others in whatever capacity, that is a leadership lifestyle in itself. Being as though my mantra, my signature in my life, my purpose is servant leadership. That is what I'm here to teach you on today in this snippet. Don't ever get consumed of quantity. We all know that quantity is less significant in comparison to quality. That means the number of friends you think you have versus the number of people who are truly loyal, who have exemplified loyalty in your life consistently. You know, if you're walking around and you're reminding somebody of what you've done, how you done it, when you did it, and you couldn't do it like this, or if I didn't open the door for you, be careful. Because now you've made yourself the end all to be all to someone else. You've made it conditional and transactional how you deal with these people. And you're going to fall at your knees at those very same words because you're building blocks up and you're oppressing people's mindset to think that they're incapable of operating without you. That when you walk in a room, you're not checking to say, or you're doing really great objectives, great action steps, great goals. Instead, you're walking in the room to see and say, oh, this is inoperable without me. How dare you? How dare you think you're so important? How dare you think that you are God, that you can do all things and be all things to all people. You need to humble yourself. But obviously, you don't know what humility is, because that is also a fruit of the Spirit. Obviously, you don't have good attributes, because those attributes are being kind, goodness, self-control, patience, loving. All of the attributes come with that are positive to nurturing relationships, nurturing projects, nurturing and empowering others, and inspiring them to be the best they can be. And one last gem I'm gonna give you. I've been in leadership since I was 23. One gem that I always remind people, maybe it's two. One, I'm very familiar with my weaknesses and my limitations. You know where I got that from? Every application and every interview I've ever done. What is your strengths and what is your weaknesses? I hone in on my limitations and my weaknesses first, because that pivots the conversation and makes the onus about growth. I am willing now to cut myself open, be transparent, and acknowledge my ways, my limitations, and my weaknesses. And that tells the next person that they can teach you to grow. Okay? When somebody tries to tell you about yourself and you can't never be told about yourself because all you see is your strength, it's because you're hiding a gang of weaknesses, baby. It don't make you strong when you don't listen. It don't make you strong when you always want to appear in control. It makes you weak because you're suppressing those things that you think no one can see, you think that are hidden. But the minute you close your ears down to instructions, the minute you are unwilling to acknowledge your limitations and your weaknesses, that actually makes you weak. Okay? That's what got me hired at 23 in leadership. Not starting at the bottom of the barrel, but excelling in growth and development, because I always say I lead with being a student first. But I don't study everything. I don't study foolishness. You're not going to blindfold me and make me study how to be anything that's not of my good character and my good attributes. And things that I fell off on, the flaws and the errors along the way, those were my choices. I can't even say I was ignorant to some things because I chose to pick it up, right? So I'm going to take accountability. See, taking accountability, acknowledging things, self-accountability, that makes you powerful. That actually makes you strong. So people got it twisted as to who and what gives you control and power. You have to govern yourself. You have to empower yourself. You have to do this in the fruits of the Spirit, the things that are pure and good. And the other things you have to start to carve out, but you have to acknowledge them. And if you don't want to acknowledge them, let somebody that loves you acknowledge them with you, because they're willing to take that time to yield, to risk an argument, to risk the relationship being over, to tell you that I love you enough to tell you your shortcomings, right? But I love you enough that I'm never going to leave you by your side, and we're going to rebuild together, because we all have something to learn about ourselves. And if you think you're in this world for a bunch of yes people to be around you to tell you nothing's wrong, then you're in the scariest world in the scariest moments of your life. Because all those yes people, they're no good for you. They don't mean you well. They're ill-equipped to be in your environment unless you want to stay in that type of atmosphere, unless you want to fly low, unless you want to be built on false altars and false stages, unless you want to be praised and worshiped as a God. The only time people love yes people around them is when they think of themselves as a God. When they need somebody to idolize them and not speak against them, not come to cause correction, not stir up things in you where you want to grow and develop. You want to be the smartest one in the room about this thing all the time, but that's never going to happen unless you isolate yourself. And the minute a feeding line comes in and a vessel comes in to open up possibilities for you, you closing it down. You cause beef. You get defensive. You get controlling. You get to acting out. You get violent. Because you don't want to hear those things that's compromising your false altar and your false environment. Because you love those yes people. Those are people that are hurt. Well, all that's under your watch, false God. All of those people are under your watch. That's on your hands. You will answer to that. So be careful when you tell people, oh, you eating off my plate. I let you live. I let you breathe. I let you eat. If it wasn't for me, be careful. Because all those broken people that believe that garbage, that's on your hands. And you're going to be accountable one day. So that's the nugget. In leadership, know your limitations. Know your weaknesses in the areas where you need to grow. Something might be introduced to you that you never even considered. Be willing to be a student first. And that's how you really excel. Okay? All right. Until next time, guys, love to you guys. Peace to you. This is Avis Cherie.